Good evening. We begin here at 5 o'clock with new developments in the Nakia Creek fire in Washington. Authorities just released this picture of a vehicle near the wildfire. This was taken on Sunday, October 9th, by a ridge close to the fire on Larch Mountain. Officials say they believe 2 men and 2 women are associated with this vehicle. It's a white or light-colored Subaru. They're asking anyone who may recognize the car to contact the Clark County Fire Marshal's office. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Mulco. The fire is believed to be human-caused. It has been burning now for just over a week. It also grew to more than 1,500 acres over the weekend, fueled by dry weather and really explosive winds. Let's bring in Joe Ranieri in Clark County this evening with an update. Joe.
Hey, good evening to you, David and Laurel. You can see across my shoulder the fire is burning just a couple of miles from where we're at here in Camas. The smoke and haze has really thickened up in just the last couple of hours. Big problem from crews earlier this weekend was the winds that really picked up basically Saturday night and into Sunday. A couple of days ago, it was down to 150 acres. It ballooned to 1,500 acres in just the last 24 hours. Now, while the winds have died down, crews realize they still have a long way to go to get this fully contained. Monday morning brought more hope for crews battling the Nakia Creek wildfire near Washougal.
The fire's up on a ridge top, and the winds just came in and just took it.
Very strong winds over this past weekend sent the fire racing from 150 acres to more than 1,500 by Monday morning.
There's just a lot of smoke in a lot of those areas. Right now we do have deputies dedicated to those areas to set the road closure areas.
As roads were being closed, many residents were being asked to evacuate because the fire was growing so quickly.
We had our Clark County partners with the Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue knocked on about 600 doors.
But not everyone chose to leave.
But there were people that elected to stay, and so if they wanted to stay, they just kind of logged some of those addresses in some of those areas and told them we may not be able to provide emergency services if you guys choose to stay at some point. And so people took their own risk.
The Camas Church of the Nazarene turned into an evacuation center for more than 24 people.
So we're offering meals, we offer emotional support and care. After a disaster, it can be an unsettling thing to have to leave your home suddenly.
Dwight Darrell, who's lived in this area for the last 16 years.
One of the firemen drove by in his little truck, and he was just warning everybody. He said, you get out of here in 5 minutes if you can.
Was one of those who decided it wasn't safe to stay at his house and spent the night at the church.
Well, this is all I had. I grabbed the 3 dogs, there are 3 of them, and jumped in the truck and took off.
While some stayed in these cots, others slept in their cars overnight.
We'll be here and we'll have this shelter open as long as needed.
David and Laura, I spoke with crews who have been working on this wildfire for now more than a week, who tell me they haven't seen these conditions this dry this late in the season ever, and not a big surprise. We haven't seen much in terms of rain so far this fall. In fact, we've been basically getting an extra month, if you will, of summer with our record-breaking temperatures. But again, things will be changing in the next few days with our really first big soaking rain of the fall season. Reporting live in Camas tonight, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
I think we'll be ready for that change. Thank you, Joe. And because of where this fire is, there are a lot of rural landowners with animals who needed to evacuate as well. A shelter's been set up for horses in Ridgefield at the Clark County Fairgrounds. And that's where Christelle Kumwe joins us. Christelle?
Yes, there's capacity to house 150 horses here, and so far 60 horses now call this place home. Now, this shelter opened on Sunday afternoon in direct response to the evacuation orders. Kellyanne Whidden loves her horses.
They're my best friends.
She's the manager of Green Mountain Stables out in the Front Prairie area of Vancouver. The boarding facility is on the edge of the fire, and Sunday afternoon, she got a notification to get out.
We were literally called and said, go now. And then 3 minutes later, they called us back and said, you need to get out immediately.
She did everything right. She made a plan when the fire first broke out a week ago, but didn't realize the plan would have to be executed on such short notice.
And I moved 28 horses in an hour and a half.
She had hay and grains ready to go and gathered the horses to head for a safer place.
I have one that's 38 years old. He hadn't been in a trailer in 10 years. He has really bad eyesight. And he trusted me enough to get in a trailer.
They found refuge here at the Clark County Fairgrounds.
Right now, we are working to help house some of the evacuated horses from the Nakia Creek fire.
Mary Powers is a volunteer at the shelter that opened Sunday afternoon. They currently have 60 horses from 5 different farms and are expecting more.
We are working to try to keep the fairgrounds open to large barns, particularly boarding facilities, things like that that are in need of housing mass numbers of horses.
Mary has a piece of advice for people still under level 1 be ready evacuation notices.
Don't wait to make your plan, make it now. That way when you hit level 2 or level 3 and need to go, you're prepared and there's less panic.
So being prepared is like the best thing you can do.
Kellyanne is very grateful to have found enough space at the fairgrounds.
I have most of the stalls, all of them all the way on the back side here, both sides, and then I have my motorhome on the back side of that. So I can stay pretty much right there where my horses are.
A safe place for herself and her best friends.
To know I could get everybody out and didn't have to leave anybody is a huge blessing, a huge blessing.
The shelter here is currently just open to horses, but they are working to try to figure out how to put other livestock in area farms. Now, before you bring your horses here, it is important to first get in contact with the Clark County Executive Horse Council, and I believe we have the number on your screen right now as we speak. They are in charge of coordinating these efforts, and they can tell you where and when to go, whether it's here or area farms. Laurel, David?
And Christelle, a little bit of good news. The number of people total under any kind of level 1, 2, or 3 down substantially from about 24 hours ago, but still touch and go. Thank you, Christelle. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. Now, Matt, I mean, those east winds over the weekend, wow.
Yeah, David, I know you felt it when you're out on the river, and it was calm in the morning, then they punched on through. We had gusts of 60 miles an hour in the gorge, and of course, Camas, Washougal, eastern Clark County, no stranger to strong east winds when they punch through the gorge. Now, in spite of the fact that we cooled off, we had some cooler air come in from the coast, it's still hazy out there, and it's going to remain that way into Thursday before we get an all-out change-out in our air mass. It's 70 degrees, though, so we've taken a good 10, 15 degrees off of our high temperature from the last few days. Air quality is suffering a bit. In the Portland area, it's not awful. It's in the moderate category, could be good, but it's moderate, so it's been a bit of a downgrade. But the station up in northeastern Clark County reporting unhealthy air there. So the closer, I mean, it makes sense. The closer you are to the fire, the worse the air quality is. And we've got an air quality advisory up for all of the Willamette Valley in western Oregon here. And up into western Washington, they had a really smoky weekend in Seattle, too, from the fires up in Washington. And those advisories extend clear up to the Canadian border. So this goes now until Thursday. It's been extended because we're just not going to see enough of a changeover in our air mass to completely clear the smoke out and improve our air quality. Here's the smoke forecast, though. And again, fires up in Washington, but the fires in Clark County. Watch what happens Tuesday and into Wednesday. The smoke gets blown more back to the west because we're going to pick up a bit of an east wind again. So kind of like what happened yesterday, our air quality improved a little bit because of the east wind, even though the east wind fanned the flames, it blew the smoke farther away on out to the west. So light east winds develop late Tuesday, and I want to stress light. They won't be as strong as they were over the weekend. We had 80s again, though, on Wednesday. That should be our last 80-degree day of the year because the rain set in as we go into Friday and the weekend. I'll show you how much. Back to you.
Well, that rain will be a relief in many ways. Thank you, Matt. Now to our homeless crisis. Mayor Ted Wheeler is expected to announce a plan this week to ban unsanctioned homeless camping in Portland. He wants to build instead 3 large homeless campuses. It's an idea that's been around before, but never been done. In a letter obtained by KGW to the county chair, Mayor Wheeler asked for help responding to this crisis. He says there are 700 homeless camps across the city, making it nearly impossible for the city to keep up. He lays out a list of requests, among them asking the county to open all 2,400 homeless shelter spaces and pay for and operate 3 designated camping sites. Meanwhile, he says the city will build 20,000 affordable housing units by 2023, enforce camping bans, and keep the streets clean. We caught up with each candidate for governor to see what they think of the plan.
I agree with what he's trying to do. Frankly, it's long overdue. We should have seen this plan a year ago.
He's got a long ways to go before it can be implemented, starting with trying to harmonize the county and the city's approach to this problem.
Republican candidate Christine Drazen couldn't talk with us on camera, but told KGW in a statement, "I am encouraged to see the city taking action. I look forward to working with Mayor Wheeler and local leaders as our state's next governor to ensure homelessness is rare and temporary, reopen our sidewalks and public spaces, restore safety to our streets, and support Oregonians in need."
And let's talk about the election because time is running out if you want to cast a ballot. The registration deadline in Oregon is tomorrow, the 18th. You want to head to OregonVotes.gov to register or update your details. In Washington, the online and by mail registration deadline is Halloween. If you miss that, in Washington only, you can register to vote in person at your county elections office through election night. That is 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 8th, just 3 weeks from tomorrow.